I think I'm just going to focus on what I can focus on and then just build from there.
Welcome to Here's What I Learned. I'm your host, Jackie Hayes, Systems Strategist and Operations Support Specialist. My guest and I share the lessons we've learned about making value-based decisions, leading our teams in new ways, and rejecting traditional business advice when that advice doesn't align with the life we want to live. If you're a solopreneur or small business owner tired of the same old scale for the sake of scaling way of doing business, then you'll want to stick around and take a listen. So put in those earbuds, get your morning mile started, and enjoy the episode. Today on Here's What I Learned, I am talking to Sue Almonte. Sue is a passionate traveler whose love of music led her to embark on a 3-month solo journey throughout Western Europe. After seeing how much personal growth and clarity she was able to experience by immersing herself in different cultures, she's decided to help other women do the same. As a solopreneur, I'm excited by the possibility of traveling while working and the freedom that running a business allows me so that I can do that. So I hope that you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. Sue, thanks for being here with me today. I'm going to start this episode out like I do all the others, and I'm going to ask you, what does it mean to do business your way to you?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Super excited to be here. So what does it mean to do business my way? So for me, it's kind of like it's like not listening so much to what like all the noise online and everything that everyone's telling you and like how you should be doing things, and just kind of like taking that information but using it in a way that works for you, and kind of like, experimenting, trying different things. Because there have been a lot of times where I'll do something exactly the way someone's like, this is how I got these results. And I'm like, this doesn't like work for me. So it's just kind of really a lot of like trial and error and trying a lot of different things and doing things in a way that feel good for you, that is also sustainable for your business as well. So yeah.
Do you have a specific example of something you tried in a way that somebody else said, this is how you do it, and it didn't work for you, and how you have adjusted that since then?
Yeah, I feel like it's usually with social media.
So often.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, even now I'm like, trying to, I'm my own social media manager right now. I'm trying to do all the things. And it's like, you have to do this and you have to do this and you have to do this and you have to do this. And I'm like, I think I'm just going to focus on what I can focus on and then just build from there. Like, just like baseline, they're like, oh, post every day. And I'm like, I don't have the bandwidth to do that, even no matter how easy it is. Cause there's all these like, there's all this content online where it's like, oh, it only takes 5 minutes, like put this together or do this or do that. But I'm like, no, I got to like sit down, plan it all out. Like, I just work a different way than the way that everyone's saying, like, to do a certain thing. So for me, I think it's just, yeah, like with social media, like, you know what, I can commit to X amount of times per week. This is going to be my system. This is how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to try and include all these things, but like they say, done is better than perfect. I'm just going to try my best, just get it out there, because the more that I put stuff out there, then that is more data for me to be able to collect and learn from, and then pivot and all that stuff. Because you don't know unless you actually do it and put those things out there.
So you were like literally speaking my love language when you were talking about experimenting and data. Like, those are like, the scientist in me is like, I love this, because it really is like your business is just one giant experiment, and you have to gather enough data before you can actually make informed choices. And like 3 days of posting something on Instagram is just generally, unfortunately, not. I would really love it for it to be enough data, but it's really not.
I know. It's tough. It's so tough. And it's like, or even sometimes I'll post a reel and I'm like, oh, it only got like 100 views. Like, it flopped. But then I'll look the next day or 2 days later and it's like up to like 800 or like 1,000 or something. So it's just like, you just never know. Like, and you just gotta keep on, chucking away and like doing the thing basically, to just see what works and what doesn't work. But you also give it enough time to then go back and analyze and see like what's going on. So
has there been something in your business where you almost gave up and then decided to go ahead and give it a little bit more time and are very, very glad you did? Or is there something that you feel like you gave too much time to and you wish you'd given less time to?
I don't think so in for either of those. For me, my journey was like I just made a lot of pivots trying to figure out what worked for me. So I started off as a VA, and that worked for a little bit. And I was like, okay, well, now I want to do like management. And then I was an OBM for a few years. And then I'm like, still not feeling fulfilled. And I'm like, do I want to, I kept like changing my niche. I kept changing my services. I was like, okay, maybe now I want to focus on like launches and like, these type of coaches or whatever. I kept pivoting and it just never like felt right. Like 100%. I'm like, something's still missing, you know, um, and then I kind of was like, let me just take a step back and just kind of like, take some time and kind of figure stuff out. And then I realized like, hey, I was talking to a friend and they're like, what is something that you love that like feels easy for you and that you can enjoy, whatever. Like, and for me, I was like, oh, well, travel. Like that's fun. That's easy. People already know me as this person. Like I can just, so I decided to like lean into that and just kind of take it from there basically. And I feel more aligned in my business than I ever have before. And I think I needed to go through all of those changes and all of those pivots and trying to like, because you learn so much, first of all, as an entrepreneur. I like to say that entrepreneurship is the personal growth journey I never knew I needed.
100%.
Yeah, I'm like, you learn so much about so much. You're like, oh, I'm a people pleaser. Oh, I don't have good boundaries. Or like, oh, like just all of these things that, trickle into your personal life as well. So it's just there's a lot there. But basically, yeah, I ended up where I'm at because of, all the changes that I went through. And I think, being self-aware and being like, you know what, this isn't like I'm not feeling lit up by this. This is not my thing. And, taking that step to change it. So
Yeah. I agree that running your own business is like personal growth experiment 101 and 201 and all the others. And also that if we go into our own business thinking this is what I'm going to do from now until the end of time, we're very, very quickly going to discover that that's probably not true. And if that is what you do, you're probably going to be miserable because you will gain new skills. You'll learn more about people that you're working with and want to work with and don't want to work with. Shifts in your life situation are going to dramatically impact what it is that you can and cannot do, what you can do sustainably, etc. And so I think the biggest thing that I always tell people is when you start your own business, be prepared to pivot on a very regular basis and don't be afraid of it because each step is like just getting you closer and closer to like you right now with the travel and feeling so aligned with that. When it comes to that shift, that pivot that you made, your friend asked you, what is something that you're really passionate about? That's easy, that you love? You landed on travel. How did you then make that pivot? Like, what were some of your first steps?
So I did an Instagram live. I was like, hey everybody, this is what's going on. Basically. And I'd never done a live before, like on my own. So I'm just like, all right, I'm just here. This is awkward. And I'm just gonna tell you guys about this change. Because I was like, all my stuff was like OBM stuff. So I'm like, that's a pretty like, that's like a 180. It's not like within the same like realm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that and then I started because I knew that I wanted to create a travel course from that. Like that I'm like, okay, travel, that's my thing, because there's so many things you could do in travel. You could be an influencer, a content creator, like, host trips, like there's so many things. But I knew I wanted to do a course, so I just started talking about it on social media and got a lot of really good support. Everyone's like, this is amazing, like this just feels like you, like this is so great. And that also helped give me that encouragement too to like pursue it the way that I want to. So yeah, that's kind of what happened. Then I just started making content around it and just started doing, the research, like, market research. What are people Googling and the questions people are asking and what are the things that are holding women back from like taking like solo trips and all these things. So, because my goal is to be able to make travel more accessible to everybody, really.
So I need you in my life desperately. Uh, I just went to Vegas. This is May of 2024, or almost May. It's April 30th, so of
Yeah.
2024. And I just got back from Vegas. And the very first thing I did when I got there was to go hike in Red Rock. And the
Um,
very first thought I had was my 50th birthday, which is in 2 years, is okay, I'm buying myself an RV for my birthday because I don't ever want to do an Iowa winter ever again.
yeah, yeah,
And I've always wanted to travel, and I always had this dream of hitting all the national parks.
yeah.
Um, and
Hmm.
I have a location independent business. So
Yeah.
why am I not? I mean, I have a dog. That's part of the reason. She's not going to want to be in the RV. But like, what are some things that people could do if part of doing business their way includes traveling and being able to be location independent? What kind of tips would you give them?
Yeah, so depending on what you currently do, I mean, first of all, if you can find a remote job, if you don't already like have a business, that's really what's gonna like, give you that freedom to be able to travel in that way. I wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't have, because I was doing my OBM stuff while I traveled throughout Europe and I was doing my OBM stuff. So I was like still making income and traveling. Unless you just have a large amount of money saved up. And like I don't know a lot of people that do, where they could,
Me neither.
yeah, where they could just travel. And like if you're in a corporate job or something like that, like, you can start your own business. Like, what are some skills that you can use that you can transfer? There's so many transferable skills from the corporate world that, translate well into entrepreneurship and starting your own business, or even getting on like platforms like Upwork or something. Like just I think just trying to find something remote that's consistent just to help get you out and exploring and traveling and stuff like that. So that'd be my number one tip.
So I am somebody who has never been uncomfortable with solo travel, mostly because I'm independent and I really just don't like it when people tell me what I have to do when I travel. Like, I don't want to have to stand in a museum that you want to stay
Yeah.
at type of a thing. So that's never been an issue for me, but for people, especially women who are intimidated by the idea of solo travel,
Mhm.
what kind of advice would you give them to get them started?
Yeah. So the very first thing I want to say is that it is not nearly as scary as you think it is. At all. At all. Like everyone's like, you're so brave. I could never do that. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like why can't you? Why can't you? I think the number one thing is being comfortable being alone. For me it's easy. I love being by myself. I'm like I'm like, but I think it's learning how to be comfortable being alone and, okay, maybe you're not ready to travel solo anywhere yet, but you want to like build up to that. I think it's like going out by yourself, like going to the movies alone, going out to eat alone, go for a walk, a hike, go shopping, like just start doing those things by yourself, get comfortable being alone. So I would say that would be my first tip. And it's not really about bravery or courage or anything like that. It's just feeling confident, like, okay, like I'm gonna be okay. And that's not to say that there aren't moments where it can feel lonely when you are traveling, but like the beauty in that too is like sitting through that discomfort and being like, oh, okay. And then like it passes and then you're fine. Like it's just, there's just so many different things that you can do. But yeah, those would be like my first like few, yeah, like words of advice for people who want to like start like solo traveling at some point.
Yeah, I find that when people talk to me about, their discomfort with the idea of solo travel, they start with the safety. But when you dig in, it is really about the like being alone and doing things alone, like going out to eat alone is in certain cultures, you assume that people are going to be looking at you and judging you because you're, sitting at a table at a restaurant all by yourself.
Mhm.
And, learning to be comfortable with, okay, first off, most people probably aren't even paying attention to you.
Yes.
But also, even if somebody looks over, you don't know what they're thinking. And if you're there for you to enjoy yourself and eat the food you want to eat and, do whatever it is that you need to do to feel comfortable with that. I just always take a book with me because I take a book with me wherever I go. So I'm like, I'm just enjoying really good food that I did not have to cook.
Yeah.
not in my apartment that I'm in all day because this I work remotely, with a good book type of a
Yeah,
thing. It's a break for me. So
exactly. And then if you go to Europe, like people are at restaurants, cafes, like for hours. Like you're just chilling. You have your book, you have your coffee, your meal. Like you, it's just like you're relaxing. It's like expected. So, yeah.
yeah. Where was the very first place that you solo traveled, and what was that experience like?
Yeah, the very first place, I'm trying to think. I don't know. The first thing that comes to mind is I went to San Francisco. I was living in California. I was in San Diego for about 6, 7 years, and I went up to San Francisco because I wanted to go to a concert. Um, everything is always music related, like my travels. So I wanted to see Paul McCartney. That was on like my bucket list forever. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go by myself. And I went, that's a quick trip. Like it's like an hour flight, maybe, you know. I was there for I think like 2 or 3 days and like it was fine. Like, yes, I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna like stay entertained and all that stuff. But also I've learned you don't always have to be doing something all the time. Like it's okay to just sit and like chill and literally like just do nothing and just like or even if it's like sitting at a park in like a new place that you haven't been to and just like watching everything around you, like, so that was what was the second part of your question? You asked me where I went and what?
What that experience was like for you, I think it's
Oh
what.
yeah, the
Yeah,
experience is great. Yeah, the experience was great. Yeah. And also going to concerts alone, I recommend that to people too if you want to get, some experience doing something by yourself because there are always so many people there that are also there by themselves. And
yeah,
it's so
would never believe that, thinking about it. Because I mean, who wants to go to a concert by themselves, And
yeah.
yeah, I'm always like, okay, I want to go to a concert, but who am I going to go with? And
Mhm.
I like as independent as I am, that's one thing that I would just like, yeah, I need to go with somebody.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's awesome. Go alone. There's a lot of people that do it and you make friends because you're like, "Oh, you're here by yourself too." And you already have something in common. Like you already have like this one big like thing that you can talk about. So it's like easy to make conversation. So
That's an excellent tip. Never considers that. So, um, what would like Sue of today tell Sue at the start of your entrepreneurial journey? What kind of
oh
advice would you
man,
give?
advice. I would say yeah, I would just say do continue to do what you think is right. Like continue to do like whichever direction you're leaning into, whatever path you think that you need to take, or just keep doing that, whatever changes you need to make, because ultimately that's gonna lead you to what it is that you actually really are looking for and what you need, what you want to do. So it's eliminating the things that you don't want to do to get you closer to the life that you want to live. So just yeah, keep going, do what feels right, do what feels aligned. So,
Excellent piece of advice. What other parts of your business are you really excited to explore in the next, let's say, year?
um, let me think. Okay, so I'm in the midst of creating this travel course, which I'm hoping to launch in the summer. That's the goal. But I'm a one man band, so it's a little, it's a lot of work. But I really believe like this is like just the beginning for me. Like this is the start of something much bigger than I can even like ever imagine, to be honest. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that looks like. But I'm hoping like my hope is to be like a big name in like the travel space. Like, and have like brand partnerships, affiliates, collabs with, a lot of the big name like, industries. I would love to start a YouTube channel. I would love to start a podcast. Maybe host like my own group trips as well. Yeah, you never know. Like the sky's the limit, but I really feel like okay, like this is going to be the platform that's going to like catapult me to like greater heights and better than I could have ever even imagined. So
That's awesome. And when you've landed on something that is aligned and right fit, when you just all of a sudden have all of these ideas just just coming your way from everywhere. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I'm like excited about it. And the cool thing about this is like it's fun. Like that's the number one thing. I'm like, whatever I'm doing has to be fun. Like I love sitting down and like working on things, like, working on my socials or emails or whatever it may be. I'm like, this is enjoyable to me. I don't feel, it doesn't feel like a chore. Like, okay, yeah, sometimes I don't always want to do it, especially at the end of the day. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, but it's exciting. It's exciting. And I think that's like a really important thing too, is to feel lit up by your work for sure.
If somebody came to you and they were, not feeling lit up by their business any longer, and they knew they needed to take a pivot, what piece of advice would you give them?
Yeah. So I would like to tell people like, just start writing stuff down, kind of just like do a brain dump. Like, first of all, what do you want your life to look like? Like, if money wasn't an object, like literally, what do you want this to look like? And okay, what things are you good at? Right? Like, what are your skills? Out of those skills, what do you actually enjoy doing? From those things. Because what we could be good at something and like hate doing it, you know.
Yes, I have a lot of those.
Yeah. And just because you're good at something doesn't mean that that's something that you should pursue,
Mhm.
So it's like, what is it that you like? What are you into? What are your interests? Because I guarantee you that there's so many different things you can do depending on, what those interests are. Like, it's just so many different, yeah, there's so many like different options. And then and then just start doing some research. But I think you really just have to get clear on what you want your ideal life to look like. And then, kind of go from there and start building that out and how to, make that happen.
I like that piece of advice because so often if you don't start from that, you just end up building this business that doesn't align with your life and doesn't give you the life that you were hoping to have. So you have to build the business to match your life as opposed to like then trying to fit your life into your business.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, definitely agree.
So where can the listeners find you?
Yeah, so you guys can find me on Instagram. It's my name, Sue Almonte. That's kind of really the only platform I hang out on. Which I
Well,
feel
good
like
for you for having the one and focusing on the
yeah.
one.
Yes, yes. I'm like, I'm not, I mean, I guess you can follow me on TikTok too, but I don't really post on there. I'm not active on Facebook. I'm like, just Instagram. That's just one link. That's it.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. This is fun.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Here's What I Learned. You can find the show notes and transcripts at jackiehayes.online/podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to leave a review and follow the show. Be sure to find me on Instagram at JackieHayes_OBM and let me know what you learned from this episode. Catch you next time on Here's What I Learned.